I'd like to discuss my favorite EDH deck, Prosh, Sky Raider of Kerr. I've had this deck since I started playing Commander. It's one of the only ones I've never taken apart. I've made changes and upgrades, but I've kept it basically the same. One of the first things I did when I made this deck was to buy the original Kobold token because there was no Kobolds, so I just bought this creature because there was no tokens related to it at all. Even the deck didn't have tokens. But eventually, I got this sweet Kobold token, which I've been using for it. So this deck has a couple different ways to win. One of the first things I got when I made this deck for a friend was Food Chain. He sold it to me really cheap, and I'm like, this card seems good, but I realized it's not good. It's insane. You have infinite lines with Prosh. So many with this card. It's just crazy. So one of the original ways I made this deck to win was through token warfare. So I can make tokens, sack them to do damage. Tokens come in, do damage to player. Tokens die, do damage. Sack tokens to make treasure. Once again, sack to do damage. Sack tokens to shoot players. Tokens do damage. Sack them for basically infinite amount of Phyrexian processing thing. And Falcroft Nobel, once again, do damage. So this package was all about just making millions of tokens to attack with. Now another way I can win is with Overrun. So one thing I put in from a long time ago, once again, was Eldrazi Monument. I could just get +1/+1 flying indestructible. So I make an army of tokens, begin my turn, I can sack Prosh, instead of a huge army of flying tokens to smash my opponent. Also have Castle Embrith. Creatures create +1/+0 till end of turn. So I can make a huge army of tokens and smash with them. And then, my favorite win con has to be Craterhoof. You drop this with like 20 or 30 tokens, and you just smash everyone. As I said, I haven't made many changes over the years, but there were some cards I've added over the years. So from MH2, I added White of the Reliquary, because it's nice to be able to sack tokens or Prosh to get lands. Boseiju Endures, because it's just a card that basically every deck that's green needs, because it's so useful. Apex Devastator is not really a good card in this deck. It's not like Synergy, it's just fun. Viatori Proving Ground, because mana fixing is important. Assassin's Trophy, when it finally became cheap because it's the premier removal spell. Hazel of the Root Bloom, because tapping my tokens to make mana just makes them super efficient. Archdrew's Charm, it's a basically catch-all effect. And then finally, I put Glide Halfling, so my commander can't be countered, and just an easy-to-use Mad Dork. So this is my favorite deck. I'll never take it apart. I might make changes, I might make upgrades, but I will always keep this deck. It is just the best one that I have.